I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. The January 6th committee. God, I'm so tired of talking about this shite. All right, you know what? Instead, let's talk about something fun. Climate change.
What I want, you've got, and it might be hard to handle.
Yeah, that's better. Let's talk about the one thing that's definitely gonna kill us, because you can still live under a fascist dictator, but when the bees, frogs, and oceans die, hey, human race, later, fuckers. The pace of climate change is ramping up. Things are happening faster than Usain Bolt on cocaine and Red Bull in the last 3 days. 100-degree temperatures across the country. We were in Arizona this last weekend, Ray and I, doing our little shows. It was 117 degrees in Phoenix in June. The average temperature in June for the last 100 years is 102. Yeah, that's 15 degrees higher. We're fine. And the last week, we had hail and snow in Mexico in June. I guess I don't need to give you a month. I could have just stopped that. We have snow in fucking Mexico. Yellowstone Park has been closed indefinitely because they just had an atmospheric river. What the worst flooding in the history of Yellowstone in June. 1/3 of this country is under heat warnings, triple-digit high temperatures. In Chicago, Minneapolis, Memphis, Indianapolis, and Raleigh. And that's from the National Weather Service. Yeah, no Sharpies were injured in this report. God damn. Currently, there are 33 wildfires raging across 5 states in June, while crazy-ass storms, and by the way, that's actually the Weather Service's new official term, crazy-ass storms, went through the Midwest, killing all power to 700,000 people.
What the hell is going on?
Then, while the power was off, hey, the temperatures went over 100. Yeah, it was like being Amish in hell. Chicago had tornado warnings and 84-mile-an-hour winds. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, gusts up to 98 miles an hour recorded. Yeah, you could use your kid as a kite. So hot that some schools in Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin canceled school. They're going to close early or move online this week. Well, at least they'll die of heat stroke instead of a mass shooting. So there's an upside to climate change and the planet dying. Now, I know you're saying it's hot, Titus, so what? At least the bees that pollinate all of our food aren't dying. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The fucking bees are dying! Beekeepers across the United States lost 45.5% of their managed honeybee colonies from April 2020 to April 2021. So either climate change is killing one of the major reasons we have food, or the bee population is getting older and has stinger dysfunction.
Are you experiencing pollination problems? Has your stinger stalled? Then ask your doctor about Viagra and get that honey.
That's a bee Viagra dick joke, and I apologize for it. The reality is the oceans are getting warmer, the glaciers are melting, and the climate has become an abused girlfriend. Oh yeah, she used to be nice, but because you cheated on her and beat her, she has now decided that she's going to kill you before you kill her. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Fucking bees! I've never more wanted to see a bee in my life. Hi, everybody. Christopher Titus, Titus Podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whenever you listen to this. With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the amazing Hylinder.
There could be only one.
Climate change. So I was, we're all kind of pretty hyper aware of the January 6th committee, and we're all pretty hyper aware of what that Donald Trump was a criminal. Yep. Someone pointed out that as this evidence came out, you realize he wasn't just a traitor, wasn't just commit treason. He also stole from the government. Yep. He also gave money to his friends. They were going, he's and Epstein.
Every crime possible, he committed them as the president.
Got it. Need it.
That was his agenda.
I'm gonna need 8 years to do all of them. But he got through all of them. So I was just reading about was about climate change. And so I was just reading an article after we did the Armageddon update. So I want to talk about climate change because this week has been the craziest week in weather I've ever seen. We had the Midwest. We had these crazy atmospheric river, which there's some shit that has come up in my life. Yeah,
there's a river in the sky now?
There's shit that's come in my life. Like heat dome. They said there's a heat dome and atmospheric river. There's shit that they're just like,
that's running red.
We need to come up with a word that makes this sound normal because this shit ain't normal. Doesn't it feel like that? They're coming up with like a t-shirt. Heat dome.
It is all the first time for all of these things. Yes,
Right.
The heat dome. We were just in that in Arizona.
The atmospheric river. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just an atmospheric river. I'm sorry, what? So they started making up terms that I've never heard before, and it seems in an effort to normalize it. It's not normal. So people, there was snow and hail in Mexico in June,
This happened in Vegas a couple years ago too. Remember?
Yeah, very shortly though.
Yeah.
But that was like
That was making it rain.
But that was like in February.
No.
That was like in February. It's June in Mexico. And they had snowballs.
Oh, right. So Vegas, that was in February.
Yeah.
Right now, that was today
That was
in Mexico.
June in Mexico. So atmospheric river over the Midwest. So what happened was it knocked out all the power to about 700,000 people. Then the next day the heat went up to 100. So awesome.
Oh my god.
And Ray said this morning. Where she left to go to her appointment, and I was driving in. And
I turned around and said, fuck it.
No, she goes, it feels like everything's out of control. It feels like things are just crazy. And so I had to talk her down. Me and Grandma talked her down.
You did. I don't think you did talk me down.
I did. I was like, Grandma, remember all this stuff?
You're like, it's going to be fine. I'm writing the Armageddon update. Gotta go. And I was like, oh, okay. And
That's
I tried
the
to
level
call
of talking
Grandma,
down.
who, I always call Grandma when I need a brightening
or a perspective.
And she had told me once when I lost Mom, I said it's this weird phantom pain where you constantly reach for the phone and it never stops, and then you always feel it's like grief blue balls kind of, and it never gets completed.
I want to grief blue balls. We all have that. I have that about my dad too, man. I'm in the car. I'm like, man, I wish my dad was here. Grief blue balls.
You can't
you can't
fulfill or complete, so you always feel like and so she said, well call me when you feel that the blue balls.
The grief blue balls. We all have it.
And so I did. So I called her today, and Grandma has cancer. It's serious. She has an oncology appointment tomorrow, and she was out picking up shoes from 45 minutes away at a Belk department store that she had ordered. And so I'm just saying that's how Grandma deals with tough stuff. She keeps living. She just always says, if the good Lord takes me, I'm ready. And if he lets me stay, I'm ready for that too. She's like, I know where I'm going, but she just doesn't sweat anything.
And a motor in there. I've got a
motor. Let's motor.
So in August of 1974, the CIA produced a study on I'm reading it, climatological research as it pertains to intelligence problems. So the diagnosis was dramatic. It basically said that climate change started in 1960. And as Hylinder pointed out when we were off air, he goes, wait, the CIA got involved? CIA in 1960, the report came out in 74.
They stopped all the coup d'etats and the assassinations to tell us this.
They've assassinated people, even the CIA. Right. Who's like, whoa, what? We just killed Kennedy. Now there's some other shit going on?
Time out. Flag on the play.
The CIA was worried about it in 1974.
They're worried about death. Oh,
yeah,
no.
when the CIA is worried that a bunch of people are
Why
going to die.
is everybody pissed at the CIA? I've seen this new liberal call to abolish the CIA.
Oh, is that new?
Abolish? They're going to abolish it? Oh, we need the CIA.
No, the liberal call, defund the police. It's like those, seeing those ranty tweets when I do dare onto Twitter. In the last week, I've seen that a lot.
Oh, I didn't know that was new. That's been.
I didn't see it
ever since its inception. That's been.
They
we
get
need
on.
Them, but they do some shady shit.
Here's how the CIA responded. What CIA?
You're right, exactly. Yeah.
New phone, who dis?
They'll just change the letters to the agency. It's the FOB now.
So climate change, it's been observed since the earliest 20th century. That's the 1900s for people that are like Bobert.
A female scientist actually said that carbon was going to destroy
a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
But they didn't listen. It's such a surprise.
Woman in the 1800s. Come on, shut up. Hey.
Primarily driven by human activities, most particularly fossil fuel burning, which increases heat trapping greenhouse gas levels in the Earth's atmosphere, which then raises the Earth's temperature, surface temperature. So that's climate change explained, as you're tweeting.
No, I'm not. I'm looking for. No, Marjorie Taylor Greene said something that I played for Hylinder and we laughed so hard that we
Did it have to do with climate change?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
I'll find it. Is it new?
I want to play it. I got my phone.
Oh, is it on there? Okay.
Yeah, it's new.
All we need to know is there a hailstorm in Mexico in June?
Yes.
Right, like right
Done.
there, right there, and then Chicago and Michigan and Wisconsin was over 100. It's like in Phoenix was 15 degrees hotter. Because you can tell the big difference between 117 and 105.
There's a great website. We've talked about this one before, climate.nasa.gov.
Hold on, I'm finding it. Yeah.
Earth warming and carbon is actually healthy for us. It helps us to feed people. It helps keep people alive. It helps. The Earth is more green than it was years and years ago, and that's because of the Earth warming. That's because of carbon.
That's because of carbon. It's more green. Then, man, she just put like that Price is Right game where they juggle the things.
What's happened since then? Here, let me tell you. We have had more food grown since then, which feeds people. We are able to producing fossil fuels keeps people's houses warm in the winter. That saves people's lives. People die in the cold.
Right.
This earth warming and
She is the dumbest human being in the world. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? Carbon is good for you. Breathe it in. Suck on an exhaust
It's
pipe.
like she just drew words out of a bag, rapid fire, and just put them all together in one sentence, and none of them go together. Anyway, climate.nasa.gov. For a lot of us, it's difficult to grasp, and they break it down where you can actually click on evidence, because sometimes people need evidence. Causes, effects, what the science community has a consensus on. Effects is a particularly stressful tab.
Let's just put a pin in that climate change. We need to talk about gun regulation.
Yeah.
Let's spend
lack.
our time on that. All right? Even though the world's coming apart.
Oh, that got stopped today, by the way.
What did?
The gun regulation.
Yeah, we got to work out. There's some things. How do you define the
Some of
boyfriend
the
law, the
language-
red flag law?
Some of the language. in
How do
this
you
is not to our
define with
liking.
how relationships are now what that would mean?
What language? What?
That if
What
you're
kind of language?
That if you have a domestic violence
DV,
thing, they still
yeah.
think that you should be able to get a gun.
If you have domestic
Violence tendencies or any charges, yes. It's called the boyfriend law, that you shouldn't be able
is
to
it
get
really
a gun.
called the boyfriend
Yes.
law?
Yeah,
Did you
it's
just make
called
that up?
Yeah, no, it's called.
But
no.
you know,
It sounds like I did.
ladies are dating each other now, and so there's no boyfriend in that equation.
That's
so
exactly
we
the old
need
white
to
man.
Talk about John
Whoa.
Cornyn.
So what happens if a guy who used to be a woman's dating a woman who
Uh-huh.
used to be a guy?
Uh-huh.
I mean, what do we put that in?
Are
So
we
is-
calling that a guy or a girl?
Is
exactly.
that a trans
Now who's
boyfriend
being
law?
woke?
What?
Exactly. How about just significant other law? We could just call it that.
How about no-
How about just
don't
period,
even worry about that. What-
You have a DV charge, you can't get a gun. That would be easier.
There you
Why do
go.
we have to call it?
Nothing. Yeah. Why don't we just call it the violence law?
Yeah.
If you have any charge
Right.
for
Who gives a shit?
violent
Move on.
crime or any violence, you don't get a gun.
The planet's average surface temperature has risen about 2 degrees Fahrenheit since the late 19th century, largely increased by increased carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere. Basically, at the end of every sentence on this page is caused by humans, caused by humans. Although most of the warming occurred within the past 40 years, and I think that's what's most concerning.
And you know
is
that would be caused by humans.
Oh, humans, with the 7 being the warmest. So you can see it exponentially speeding
right,
up,
yep.
which is what everyone's screaming about.
And that was caused by humans. I get another thing. In 1965, a few months before the CIA report was issued, the U.S. Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, by the way, hardcore righty, addressed the UN under a banner applying science to the problems that science has helped to create, including his worry that the poorest nations were now threatened with the possibility of climate changes in the monsoon belt and perhaps throughout the world.
Speaking of CIA,
But-
Henry Kissinger said,
Henry Kissinger's like, guys, I believe this is going to be trouble. I believe this problem is going to be bad for everybody. We should probably chill. Everybody,
That's a really good.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Isn't it weird how
Better.
I went right
Yeah.
to my head?
Warming ocean. The ocean
droopy
has
dog.
absorbed much of this increased heat, with the top 100 meters of ocean showing warming of more than 0.6 degrees Fahrenheit since 1969. The Earth stores 90% of the extra energy in the ocean.
But also, and people go, well, how can you prove it? Well, when the pandemic hit, you remember those first 6 months we were all locked down?
That was
They
cool.
were the scientists were like, even scientists were like, holy shit,
yeah.
everything's clearing up. What's going on?
What about the proof? The data and the proof. How do you prove it with the proof?
Fake
We've
news.
done all the tests.
Listen,
Fake
all we
news.
got is all you guys got is facts and proof. How do we get to?
How are you going to prove it with the fucking proof?
Yeah, prove that proof. Can you prove your proof? Then shut up.
Oh, is it linked to CNN or MSNBC or any of those people? See,
Or
yep.
these lefty scientist fuckers.
You're
Yeah,
just
these lefty.
trying to take my rights.
Oh, the guys that go to space and walked on the moon seem to know everything.
Yeah, they should stay in their lane.
This world has gotten so crazy.
Shrinking ice sheets is one of the scariest things. If you do when you edit, you should put right here a picture. Even on Earth Day, Google put the Google Earth images from 40 years ago
that's
and
brutal.
now, and it's terrifying.
And all the barrels of dead bodies that we're now
Yeah,
finding
it's-
everywhere.
They're
Not
saying
just
that that's like 100. They said even way back then they said it was costing, but they said currently right now it's costing like climate change is costing like $220 billion a year. Not only that, but so here's what's happening with the ice sheets. So all that snow and all those glaciers reflected light back up and heat, right? So they reflected the heat. Well, now that those are melting and it's brown and green, it's absorbing the heat. So what's happening is the ocean currents are slowing down, which means that the transfer of heat that was going down past through the Atlantic, going around Gulf of Mexico and coming back up and dropping the heat off in the higher latitudes, isn't doing that anymore.
fucking Biden.
So yeah, right.
Of course, it happened during a Democrat.
Yeah.
Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets have decreased in mass. They actually have data, which you can go and look at. You can go and look at pictures if that's easier. They show that Greenland lost an average of 279 billion tons of ice per year between 1993 and 2019.
It's now in Mexico.
Yeah, Antarctica lost about 148 billion tons of ice per year during those 26 years.
So what's happening is we're beyond getting it back. We're in a feedback loop now. The only thing that'll fix this quickly, global thermonuclear war, because what that'll do is it'll put a lot of ash in the air, block
We're
all
not
the sun. It'll be fine.
advocating that.
I'm not saying
More guns.
But at one point, trust me, there is a group of people somewhere in a think tank that have decided they've mapped it out. They've mapped it out 200 years and like, guys, if we don't do something today, we're fucked. And the only thing we can do that's going to fix it quick is global thermonuclear war. And we're going to kill nuclear war. So if we're going to kill 6 out of the 8 billion people. So 2 billion people will live. So, because it's going to be
this
food
math
issues.
you can do. Wow, you can crank out numbers when it comes to killing off people. Let me guess. You want to decide who?
Oh, no. I think it should be a lottery of some sort.
Yeah.
I'll
You
always lose. I
have
always
to answer whether or not 9/11 was a false flag event.
There you go. If you just had to
I
pass,
know your lotteries.
If you just had to pass a 25-word questionnaire.
Was the 2020 election stolen?
Yeah. Hell yeah, it was. Get in that group. Get over there.
That's what 23andMe is.
Yeah.
See where there's
everybody
no
Exactly.
food and no blankets. Go with those guys.
Oh, you don't need your bags. You'll be fine. Glacial retreat. Glaciers are retreating almost everywhere around the world, including the Alps, Himalayas, Andes, Rockies, Alaska, and
go on a retreat.
Africa. You can go and see images of the disappearing snow cap on Mount Kilimanjaro from space.
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome. I mean, for example, we're living it in California right now.
Yeah.
We had like a big weekend of snow in Northern California, and now we are
A couple
in
months, yeah, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it snowed up there at the cabin, right?
No, I mean it was December.
Oh, this year. Well, but then
Our
late in the year we had
snow
a
year.
weird. Late in
We
the year we
didn't-
had this weird.
We
snowstorm.
couldn't go snowboarding. Remember?
Right. We had one storm, And then I felt so bad because there's a guy named Matty who does the Bear Valley Snow Report, and he was stoked, dude. We know the guy, we see him, but he does the snowboard for the resort.
All right, dudes.
He's like, bros, you won't believe it, man. The fresh pow pow's dropping hard. You will not believe it, man. We got so much right now. This is gonna be one of those epic years, man. Maybe up to 212 inches. Boom. Didn't snow again.
We kind of thought the same thing. We
I felt bad for
planned,
Maddie.
we blocked out work, which we then were like, can you guys fill this work? There's nothing to snow on.
Can you do him
snowboard on.
as like he's afraid of climate change? Oh no!
Yeah,
Or like-
yeah, I don't want Maddie to listen to this podcast because he'd be like, bro.
That's his whole job.
Yeah, he's done.
So what I was saying was we're in a drought situation where they are regulating our water now. And there's a $2,000 fine for violating it. So it was, if you have an even number address, you could water your stuff Monday, Thursday, Friday. Well, now that's down to 2. It's about to go to 1. And and they said that once they put those regulations in place, that in Southern California, most people's water increased.
Yeah. 26%. It went up 26. Once they told everybody we're going to limit you, everybody started using it. Went to 26%.
So it's Southern California though. Like you got to fill the pool, man. How are they going to police for that $2,000 fine? I'm wondering, are they going to start looking at your water usage?
There's a department for that. There were new recruits coming in. I'm going to pull you over.
Like the water
pull up to your house.
CIA?
We got to
Yeah.
defund the water police.
They're going to test the moisture in your soil.
All they got to do is imagine LA too, with all the rich people that are going to be. I'll pay the $2,000, but here's the problem.
What?
It's not. Rich people will just say, "I'll pay the fine."
Oh,
I'll pay the fine.
I thought you
Oh,
were
yeah.
saying you would. I was like,
No,
whoa,
oh no,
Sparky.
God, no.
Okay.
We're actually. I'm making a rock plan for our yard. Our yard is going to leave the tree.
Well,
we're going to do a rock
because
plan.
It's because
Just
you-
half mulch it like the fucking neighbor across the street.
Yeah.
God bless them. God bless them. They got back out there. This is where Clumsy and
Clumsy
some
was
other
murdered.
people were murdered, and they got out there with mulch. They
Not at the
did
same time.
about
Wasn't
a
group
quarter.
murder, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't mulching at the same time the murder happened either.
Right,
That
no,
would be
right.
weird, or effective. Yeah.
over
Why did their yard have so many
Yeah.
bumps? Approximately 6 feet long. Then they realized they didn't have enough, so they went and got a different color mulch, covered another space, and now we still haven't even gotten around the corner
Still
to go
not
around.
enough, though.
It was
They
one of those
went the
things where
second
he
time
went and
and
bought
didn't
2
measure.
bags of mulch for
Mm-hmm.
like a 2,000 square foot yard and laid it out and was like, oh.
And who
But
is
then
that?
did that again. Like
Yeah,
went back for
totally.
just 2 more
the same
bags.
amount.
So I just don't get it.
Drug sales are down, obviously.
And mulch is not very expensive at all.
Yeah,
Mulch
right.
is like $6 for you could just but whatever. So they're talking about this has been going on for a long time. The climate change has been talked about. I remember reading about it in my weekly reader
Yeah,
as a kid.
I
And
didn't. I was in North Carolina, so they were like, nope.
They were like
There was-
guns. They're like our kids open to the good page 2 gun.
There were no book. There were no reading. There was no reading. So
Well,
There was no
I
weekly readers.
read. My mom made me.
well,
Thank
okay,
you
good.
very much.
All right. That's right.
Also, we have decreased snow cover, which we just talked about, which California relies on that snow melt to fill the lakes to then give us water, and sea level rise, which this just happened in the Outer Banks. I'll do all this
I'm just reading about
because we need you.
yeah got it.
Sea level rise in North Carolina that you could watch
Yeah.
the house just that was sitting on the beach, beautiful beach house, and it just lifted and just the whole house just floated out
away.
to sea. And the people had apparently just bought that.
Yeah. It was
So
a houseboat
global sea
at
level
that
rose
point.
about 8 inches in the last century. That's trouble for New Orleans. The rate in the last 2 decades, this is becoming a trend, is nearly double that of the last century and accelerating every year.
It's
So-
exactly what the Al Gore chart.
He's exactly that's
What-
You know, Al Gore is just
20
banging
years ago,
his head
whatever
off
it
the table. Like,
well, first of all, Al Gore. Say what you will about Al Gore, but Al Gore took private jets. After that,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
But then again, at one point, Al Gore literally laid what was going to happen out, and
Yeah.
it's happening literally on exactly what he said. And at one point, and was like, "Shut up, Al Gore," and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm getting in a plane. Then I don't give a shit. Right? If
Yeah.
you guys don't give a
Yeah.
shit, fuck it. Well, me taking a bus with Ralph Nader ain't gonna make a difference. So
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll get in a
well,
plane."
I did. We talked about this before, and when you made fun of me because we drink a lot of water, and
Plastic
I was
bottles.
about to justify it, but it was just not something I thought about. And as I have this plastic bottle I just got from here. And so I told him, and he kind of made fun of me, like, oh, what's you not using bottled water going to do? And I was like, I can't believe you, Johnny Activist, would say that. The point being that if
so not Johnny
10,000 of us did that in Southern California,
Right.
it would make a difference. And so I
10,000
completely stopped using bottled water. Completely. Started putting mint in a jug with filtered water in the fridge, and I'm obsessed with that, by the way. But our gardener, who goes through our garbage can and takes all of our bottles and cans today, because we don't have recyclable garbage anymore, I'm not using that stuff anymore. I saw him today open the bag. There was one bag, and he opened it, and it was like empty meat trays and stuff, and it was a very sad day for our gardener.
So just so you know, last night I always have 2 bottles of water with one of our amazing sponsors product in it, and I used the same bottle I had used for working out and refilled it with our filtered water.
Yeah, you've started reusing a lot.
Oh, that's a white sentence. That was
But
a white
I will
sentence.
say
was that
this.
that was a white ass sentence.
And we couldn't snowboard.
So here's how about climate change. We lost the snowboarding, and I bought new snowmobiles a couple years ago, and we can't even use them.
And my houseboat floated away.
And
Our gardener is upset.
oh my God, I hate us.
Our pool is evaporating.
Oh my God, we are horrible.
I'm not trying. I have made some big changes, and it was really cool to me to see that
She hooked her
can-
Peloton actually up to a generator, so it's actually now she's powering the house with
that
her Peloton.
can being empty. Oh
real?
no! You know what I started doing?
No,
That's-
go ahead.
Yes, I'm powering the whole house right now. I'm like Wizard of Oz. What was I going to say? Oh, our power, like the extreme times of power use is like, I think they said 10 to 5 in LA, which is weird. You'd think it would be opposite, but a lot of people in LA are at home during the day.
Right.
And so I just stopped doing everything. The lowest is 8 o'clock. So if I need to wash clothes or whatever, I've actually started waiting until after 8, waiting until I have a full load. I'm doing my best.
You're actually in the water usage. We're filling the pool again. The whitest questions in the world. Oh my God! And now, welcome to rich people's problems. And I don't even think we're rich, but we are okay. I said something the other day. I do get that, but the problem is that because I busted my ass my whole life. I'm a DF student, so I don't give a shit. I'm happy I made this money. I busted my fucking ass.
And here, Titus turns on the audience.
I'm sorry,
because
man.
his father is
No,
in his head.
I heard myself
calling him a loser.
I heard myself. Yeah. Shut up, Dad. Shut up, Dad. Never did shit for yourself. Yeah, well, I made more money than you. So there you go. But it doesn't even matter whether you make, whatever income level you're at, you should do what you can do, and the weird thing was the data that came out of COVID, that what happened to the planet and the air and the water when everybody shut down. I wonder how long it would take us to just slow everything down to fix it, because it seems like we're screwed. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no bees. That was one of the things I talked about the bee population. 45.5% of the bee population died off. Mm-hmm. That's the United States
this
Bee
year,
Association,
or
whatever. Yeah.
Today, what like
no,
how long
last
was that?
year. This last year.
Beekeepers.
This last year, the
Association.
Beekeepers Association, 45.5%, which means queens are dying off because it's getting so hot. And they're saying, I remember when there was years ago, they were saying, if it gets 2 degrees hotter, we're all screwed. It's like 5 degrees now. It's gone up 5 degrees.
Well, also another couple things that are signs of global climate change, extreme events, which we've been talking about. We've been seeing. It's kind of crazy. Yellowstone
just had
flooded.
the biggest flood ever. By the way, on record, that's the biggest flood on record. They shut down Yellowstone for the entire summer.
I am noticing, I've said this before, and thank you for all of your emails discouraging me from getting bees, because you don't think that we can handle it. They're like,
We kept these little guys.
we keep them alive.
Listen, if I can keep this guy alive.
Well, you
I drove him to
don't
work today. I drove him to work
necessarily.
today.
I know,
And
I
he was
prayed
fine.
the whole day. I was like,
What
please don't
Why
let
do
him
all
die.
women believe men are the most incompetent morons on the planet?
I don't think you're incompetent by any stretch, but you're extremely more competent at other things.
Who's that? Who's competent? Who's competent? I am.
You're a great
Mom,
He
comedian.
looked at me. And then ocean acidification.
Yeah, all our
The acidity of surface ocean waters has increased by about 30% because humans are emitting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, hence more is being absorbed into the ocean. The ocean has absorbed between 20 and 30% of all of the carbon dioxide emissions in recent decades. So that's about 10.8 billion metric tons per year.
Wow.
And, because of the bees, we've been talking a lot about the
Why does my shrimp taste like Pennzoil?
the world is in such a harmony. I was going to say harmonic balance, and then I just said harmony.
Never edit while you're talking.
Everything goes. We need this to have this, and if we don't have that, then we don't have that. And so it's been really kind of interesting as we've been looking up and reading about bees and frogs. And then you start to realize, oh, if these things die out, they can't pollinate our food.
Yep. So we don't have food.
And then, like,
There's the
for
bee in the coal
example,
mine.
we don't have the water in California, so they're burning off crops. And it's just like so many, the ocean, if everything, it's like,
Is this why Musk and Bezos were like flying,
Space.
moving? Like, we
Yeah.
got to move. Like, do they know? Like,
Of course they do.
they're getting themselves a
They're just
place,
gonna
I'm
move.
sure.
Yeah.
There's no one else. You won the having your picture launched into space by SpaceX. You've got to search your
thanks.
email. And
I don't want to. I don't care.
Well, then put a picture of me
Okay, got it.
with the dogs.
No, I have another picture.
No,
How did you win?
Because I want the aliens. No, if the aliens, they won't kill us if they see a nice picture of you.
they will probe both of us.
No,
There's going to be a swarm. What are you talking about?
You too.
There's
You're
more of
getting probed too. You're all getting probed. If I'm getting probed,
So-
you're getting probed.
Equal opportunity probing.
So here's the yeah, but they'll really probe you. We'll be like, ow, 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 ow. God, you go, yeah. We are in trouble, and we are in trouble in a bunch of different ways. And what people don't quite understand is not. So you and I were talking about the perfect storm that's coming. We got Ukraine's supplies like 50% of
30%.
30% of the world's grain. The world,
yeah.
not of the world's grain. So, and then California Central Valley.
And 30% of global grain supply, but like I forget, I think 70 to 80% of food to Northern Africa and parts of Asia.
Right.
So impoverished areas.
And then California is a third of this country. California, our Central Valley is a third of our
and
fruits
Central
and vegetables.
Valley is burning off crops,
Right.
which is why our air quality is so bad, which is why you and I are having allergy problems.
So what people don't quite get is that people are like climate change. I don't know what I can do anyway. And I'm going to go buy my new TRX Dodge Ram that's got 704 horsepower. Good, God bless. Because my electric car will beat it anyway. But my thing is this. We are about to hit a place where in the next 10 years, one of two things is going to happen. Either the weather's going to turn around, which would be fluky. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Or we're going to have famine, worldwide famine. Or we're going to have world war because of what's going on in Russia right now. We just sent them another $1 billion worth of stuff, plus $200 million in humanitarian aid. And then Zelensky's like, it's not enough. We need to have $100 million of tanks and bombs.
Oh, yeah,
and
we're
planes.
effed. At a time that we're going to need that money, we're just sending them. And not that I don't think we should help, but I can't, if there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
And then I heard General Milley today saying that logistically, the odds are in Russia's favor.
Right.
They
They
greatly
have
outnumber,
1 to
although
10,
they're
10 to
having
1.
some leadership issues.
Well, the Ukrainians keep killing the top guy. Maybe you shouldn't send the generals out front.
That's what I meant by leadership issues.
What are they doing up front? Like,
Because I'm
To the
Russian,
Ukraine.
I will fight.
By the way,
This way, man.
number 2 guy, come up.
this episode brought to you by Solo Stoves. Perfect time to talk about this.
Good Armageddon edition.
Not a day goes by that I don't think about this being in our backyard. Because
For
certainly
heat,
I'm
as the
now
only
thinking,
device for
yeah,
cooking and
exactly.
heat, yes.
Cooking and heat. We're not going to need it for heat. I was already thinking, we got a Brita filter. I got a Costco pack of replacement filters because if all hell
25-pound
breaks
bag of
loose,
beans
we're going
and
to
rice.
use the pool water.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not going to be any pool water. It's going to be a spitting.
this chlorine is minty.
So I think a lot because, I have been a little freaked out about this Solo stove because we're always going to be able to find wood to burn. It's so easy to light. It's not like you need a bunch of fluids and stuff
Well, just
like
all the
that.
pieces of wood from the houses getting destroyed, we'll be able to use in the solo stuff.
Yeah, yes, exactly. The pieces riddled with bullet holes, we'll just put those in the solo
That you made into a shirt.
Exactly. I love
It's a great
this.
Armageddon edition, is what we're saying.
You need this, is what I'm saying. That's your worst case scenario. Your best case scenario is you have a nice camping trip with Nana at
Right,
the end
there
of
you
the
go.
summer.
Or in the backyard, you sit around it. It's really
Totally portable, though, is my point. You could take it with you. But yeah,
almost no
backyard.
smoke. The ash, it does the ash. It burns so completely. It's pretty amazing, actually.
It's stainless steel construction, and it's designed to regulate the airflow, and it burns more efficiently, so your wood isn't just lit and then gone. It is smokeless, so you can sit out there and not be stinky and not be breathing in. Although that might be better than
Not
what
give
we're
your
breathing
position
in
away.
already.
Let's be honest.
True.
Yeah. So, and they last forever. They were engineered so well. So you're going to need this. I'm not kidding. I really do think about this a lot. So they also give you a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. So if you don't like it, they know you will. They're going to give you that backup. So right now you can get big discounts on all the fire pits during Solo Stove's summer sale. And then you can use promo code Titus at solostove.com for an extra $10 off of that. I went and looked. The sales are pretty awesome. Solostove.com, promo code Titus for $10 off on top of the incredible summer sale discounts. You have to hurry, though, because the summer sale ends June 23rd.
But it's also good, like, out there. I was out in the backyard, and it was nice to sit out there, and just to have that going is just nice.
It's nice for ambiance, too, at night. But also, s'mores are the shit on a Solo Stove.
By the way, that should be their thing, their T-shirt. S'mores are the shit. Solo Stove.
You have nothing else to look forward to. Solo Stove. For everybody that says, I get tired of seeing this on social media. Oh, you have I can't afford an EV. This is not used. These are brand new. And this is 2022. The Nissan Leaf is $27,400. With your tax credit, it's $19,900.
Wow, a new car for $20,000. That's
Brand
crazy.
new. Not buying a used one. Yes.
It's just a Leaf, though. It's not a.
Yeah, but by the way, everybody, I just heard everybody collectively go, I'm not fucking buying a Leaf.
Okay, what do you want? Okay.
It's called the
Mini
Leaf.
Cooper SE hardtop. Retail $29,900. You get a federal tax credit. You pay $22,400. Brand
Let me
new.
see. What's a Mini Cooper hardtop look like?
Super cute. It looks like the
Is it
Mini Cooper.
electrical?
Yeah.
They have electric Mini Cooper now?
Uh-oh.
Everybody's going electric, though. Everybody's catching
what
up.
people don't quite understand is it's about to change hardcore. And Elon Musk got to be a dick for 15 years.
Yeah.
He really got to be a
He's
dick
going
for
to be
15
dethroned pretty soon.
because and I told Ray this. I said when he started kind of mouthing off too much, where you're like, dude, the hair plugs worked out for you, dude. But and I'm glad you're fixing space. And the car, I love the car. We have
Fixing
Teslas.
space.
We love him. Yeah, he fixed space. He fixed space. They also said that there was someone on it was 60 Minutes. They were saying that the satellites he's putting up. Currently, right now, he has a third of all the satellite pollution in the night sky. He's going to have they're putting 22,000 miniature satellites for internet and stuff. It's going to be pretty insane.
So he is.
So this was
Okay.
interesting. We were hanging out with Leno last Saturday.
We were at the club. We were hanging out, and Linda invited us over. Hey,
Pretty-
guys, why don't you guys come over?
This is a dumb shit that you say sometimes in response. We were hanging out in the green room with
Right,
Leno
with Leno,
for
right.
about 20, 25 minutes
More,
talking. More than that. See, now he's going to say more than that. I thought you just said we didn't hang out with Leno.
Well, I mean, we just hadn't been at the club, but I know Jay a little bit, yeah. So yeah, let me start over. We were hanging out with Leno backstage.
It's his dad in his head all the time, man. It's crazy. So we were.
I was hanging out with Leno, Dad.
then
that's
go.
right. Because I know more people than you. And guess what else? Bruce Springsteen said that I could use a quote he said.
We
for
were
my-
hanging out with Leno. Then I say 25 minutes. It was more than that, but okay. How long were we hanging out with
I've
Jay
got
Leno?
issues.
I know. How long? Half an hour?
It was more than that. Yeah, we were backstage. We were backstage for about 40 minutes.
Okay. And he told the story about how he and Elon, because he knows
We're hanging out.
everybody.
He said he's really smart.
We're hanging out, and they took a ride in the Cybertruck. And I didn't realize this, but Elon Musk has already started the underground tunnel construction. So they got in the truck. They went down underground about 6 stories.
60.
I thought he said 6.
60.
Wow.
Feet.
60 stories.
So
Which I would not do with someone. I would be like, no, thank you. I'll see you on the other side. And it was kind of cool because I said, where is it going? And he goes, he didn't know yet. You know,
It's
he
a
said
test.
it's a test, but hopefully, ultimately, everywhere, at least to
It comes
Northern
back out at
California.
some point.
So he goes, yeah, what he's doing is he leasing or
So
this was very funny.
So this is what he said. So because I'm a car guy, so I'm listening. So basically, Musk is, and I was asking Jay, why drill the tunnel so deep? And then I thought, because you don't have to deal with structural bullshit. Once you go so deep, the Earth itself will hold it. You know, like a mole or something. So they've got roads, and he's got like it's like 6 miles or whatever.
Yeah,
and
it's a good
they go
distance.
6 miles under the earth, and it just stops because they're not done yet.
Yeah.
There's an area. So they park the Cybertruck. They don't back. I'm like, do you guys turn it around? You get out. He goes, no, we just got an elevator. So they go in an elevator, and he's leasing. So Elon Musk is leasing like people's houses. He's giving them money to. They put an elevator. So you come out. He goes. Jake goes. So we come out of this guy's backyard, and he's cooking it like he's going.
He's grilling.
He's so there's just some fucking elevator out of nowhere. And
It's just Earth just.
He just keeps paying people along the way when he needs an exit.
an
And
easement.
so
Yeah.
they're getting money and they're just like, oh, Jay Leno and Elon Musk, how's it going? And then they get a ride back and somebody else comes and gets the truck. But I thought, okay, he's really doing a lot of things, right?
No, but that's the whole thing to me is like, so you got this guy that's got 250, I think we talked about this, $250 billion less because the stock just dropped a lot, but that's still, and then you go, great, dude, you're making it so we can get onto another planet. Love that. He made it so the rockets and stuff that we currently were buying from Russia for a crazy amount of money, he cut the cost by 2/3, and now we don't depend on Russia for our rockets or getting our guys to the space. Like the stuff he's done, he's actually doing satellites for internet are going to surround the earth. So as long as we fuck Spectrum, that's all I get. As long as Spectrum gets shut down, I'm fine.
And then bought Twitter.
Yeah. And so he does that. Then he actually invents the electric car, which look, you can actually give Elon Musk credit. Well, the guy who invented it, he stole the idea from or bought the idea from. But Elon Musk put everything behind it. And I do have to admit, the man risked every dime he had to make it work. Now the entire planet is turning to electric cars, which will change things. So I give the guy credit where credit is due.
Mazda MX-30 retail for a brand new one. Brand new. You can get used ones. $33,000. With your tax credit, $25,900. Pretty cool looking car too.
Yeah, so you guys that are bitching, I can't afford an electric car. There's electric cars all over the place.
That are cheaper than regular Camrys and stuff like that.
But then he got very famous, and fame is a drug, and he's got fame and money. And what happened was he started popping off. And I think this Twitter thing made him back off because I've never seen a dude get drug as hard as Musk did over the Twitter thing. And now he's backed off, I guess. I haven't heard anything that he's buying Twitter anymore.
Okay, Ford F-150.
It will fit me, yo, man.
Lightning Pro retail $39,900 with your federal tax credit $32,474.
I don't like the range on it because in the long range, I don't like the range.
Okay, so
but
I'm just making the point. Everyone, when you say Tesla, they're like, oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Rebuttal. So I looked at the so that's what I was talking about. This all started this because remember I told you I said once I saw Ford, GM, and Chrysler there's a new badass. There's a badass SUV coming out called the Lyric. Beautiful, all electric.
Yeah.
But I told you, I said, what people don't quite understand. Oh, Elon Musk is running it. You don't understand. These guys have been building cars for 100 years. And the second they decide to switch all their production to electric, it's going to take less than a year. Yeah. Elon had to build an entire infrastructure for 15 years.
Right.
These
for
guys,
the charging stations.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now what they're going to do is they're going to hire Elon's guys for more money. They're going to go in. They're going to build it better. Then, by the way, General Motors, Delco, and Bosch, those guys, the companies they work with, their electronics are by far the best, man. They changed electronic fuel injection. Once everybody starts focusing on battery tech and it becomes competition, it's all going to be about range because the cars are going to be as fast as you can make them, but it's all going to be about range. And right now, like our cars do 300 miles. 300 miles, dude. I don't use it for more.
Well, mine does 330.
Mine might have some battery issues.
He's mad.
Mine went from 335 to 310. over the
It does. Over time, it will decrease a little bit.
I think I lost some cells. Mine did it like
Yeah, you
like a
did.
second month, and I was pissed. I took a test, and they were like, "Yeah, sorry."
By
Yeah.
the way, this episode brought to you by HelloFresh, one of our favorite companies. Great for this conversation because HelloFresh, they bring you everything for your meals all in one giant box for the whole week, depending on how you set this up. So you're not going back and forth to the grocery store.
Yeah, you don't go, where's the shallots? Another white sentence.
Like, what is a shallot? What?
This is a white sentence episode.
I have to tell you, so we've made a lot of this stuff, but the zucchini pomodoro penne bake, holy shite. So I added ground turkey to it.
Is that what I had?
Organic
is that
ground
that bowl
turkey.
you gave me the other night? Was that the bowl?
No, this was
That was
the pasta. I used the gluten-free pasta
Right.
with the turkey meat and the creamy kind of ricotta throughout it. So I love this. I make it now on my own randomly. I made it in North Carolina after grandma's surgery. Holy crap. How many times did she talk to people about that
I
stuff?
don't believe this. Hell, she actually got the recipe on the recipe card. She made it herself.
That's what's now.
She
Ray's taking the
So you made that recipe without the HelloFresh ingredient. You just took
because
that
I was
recipe
in North
over
Carolina
there. That's cool.
taking care of grandma.
Right, 'cause-
So like I said, it teaches you to
Twofold.
cook as well. Yes. And so it's not something I ever would have thought of doing. It's this pasta bake, but I substituted gluten-free and put turkey meat in it. And then it's got a ricotta, cream, olive oil, salt and pepper situation. And you put it in the center and then put the second layer on top with some cheese. It is
Don't
stupid.
waste your money on a cooking class.
You don't need-
the thing is
yeah.
they figured it out. Like so the great thing about HelloFresh is you get like so I was looking this morning. I opened the thing and there's a bag and I go, oh, wonder what meal that is.
That is a griddled onion cheeseburger bag, which their
come
burgers
on.
are our favorite.
Yeah. So
Stupidness.
so what I noticed was that you get it all. You can cook it. You don't have extra stuff. In fact, sometimes I think I
There's
wish
no
I had another
waste.
portion of this.
I do too.
Well,
We could get for 4, but I just get for 2
Yeah, but
so
then
that
I'd be
I don't eat it.
That's a
Yeah.
glutton. I don't want it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we eat for 4. It's only 2 of us, but we eat for 4. Excuse me. But it's
Highly
great stuff. It's
recommend
always
their
great.
burgers, like the Gouda burger. It's just all so good.
That bowl you made the other night was awesome.
That's the other cool thing. We were home. We were exhausted. We'd been traveling. It was lunch the next morning when we woke up. It was lunchtime. And I was like, I don't know what to cook. We don't have any food. And I had one HelloFresh bag left. It was mushu bowl and mushu pork. And so I went downstairs. In 15 minutes, I brought you up a cooked dinner food in a bowl, and you were like, what is this? I was like, I just whipped that up. That was pretty cool. So you should try it. Go to hellofresh.com/Titus16 and use code Titus16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's hellofresh.com/Titus16, promo code Titus16, up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. I did this. We are members of this, and you do get 16 free meals. It was pretty awesome. So.
And the price is like it's cheaper than just doing it yourself at home.
by
right?
far.
Yeah. So
Next
you've
to
done
the
so you've
bed.
done it well and long enough now to where you know that it's cheaper than us if we went to like the grocery store and bought all this stuff.
Yes. And like you said, there's no waste. Like, whereas I might need garlic for this, but I don't use garlic a lot. They send you the exact amount of garlic that you need, whereas I would go to the store and have to buy the whole thing, a jar or the whole head, and there's waste. So it's pretty fantastic.
All right.
You can carry on now, Sparky.
Loudermilk. So the January 6th committee.
Don't like him.
No. So Loudermilk, this guy Lauder, Senator, whatever he is, representative, he said that they were like, you gave, on the January 5th, you gave a tour of a bunch of people at the Capitol. He went, I did not give a tour to anybody at the Capitol.
On video.
So today,
With a badge on, as he says, tour guide.
today, there's a picture of him standing in the hallway with all these people, and they're not taking pictures of like pictures of George Washington.
Yeah.
They're taking pictures of hallways and stairwells,
Like reconnaissance,
and
like the
doors.
CIA.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
And I'm like, and now he says, yeah, I guess I did do a tour, but those people, he said,
Good American
he
family.
said none of those people got arrested or convicted on anything about January 6th.
Yet.
Then they played a tape of one guy that was on that tour going, "Tell you what, Nancy Pelosi, we're gonna drag you out of here. That's right, you too. Even AOC, we're gonna drag you out of here by your hair." Those are Loudermilk's constituents.
Classy.
And it's weird because we used to have, and someone pointed this out, had the Democrats staged a coup and on January 6th, and then we had evidence that like one of the Democratic representatives had actually done a tour of people that ended up at January 6th. The Republicans would be demanding their fucking heads on a platter.
And so would other Democrats.
Yeah, that's
You
the
know?
thing. Yeah, well, yeah, Democrats are.
it would be-
Even the guy that went after Kavanaugh. They had a guy show up with a gun, said he wanted to go, so his life could have meaning. He was going to go shoot Kavanaugh.
Yeah, we talked about him a lot.
Got there, called his sister, and then gave it up. And
He called the cops on himself.
He called the
He
cops
said,
on
"I'm
himself.
not well, and I have a gun. You should come get me."
Yeah.
So they
That's a
did.
Democrat.
But then the Republicans are like, "We need to protect justices," which we do, but like. I would argue that the children have been in more danger than Kavanaugh was since that guy turned himself in and these kids got slaughtered.
No, actually, Governor Mike DeWine signed legislation this week, Ohio, that said that teachers that had to, if you wanted to carry a gun as a teacher, you had to have 300 hours of training. He signed a law this week that now you only have to have 24 hours of training. Can we talk about how stupid this is?
Can we talk about the fact that they refuse to standardize teachers' pay and to put it at at least past poverty level? That teachers don't have enough money to buy the equipment they need for their classes. But we're going to expect them to buy bullets and guns,
right?
And get training,
actual like training to teach that they have to.
It's
go
crazy,
through and then like throughout their career,
and
like,
they have to
re-up certifications.
Yes. Yeah, teachers.
Your government is effed if you can't put laws into education, but then you're like, oh yeah, but make them carry. They need to act like Navy SEALs.
So let's see. Your teacher educate your children. That's one of their jobs. They also are kind of a parental figure.
They
That's a
protect
second
your
job.
children when they're in school. Yeah.
Right. They're kind of like a disciplinarian. They got a manager. They're babysitter basically. And now you want them to be SWAT. Now they have now. And I tweeted out a math problem. I said, okay, so if the mass killer has 2 AR-15s and 1,000 rounds of ammunition, and the teacher has a Glock with 16 rounds of ammunition, how long before the entire fucking student body is massacred? Yeah. So and that's a word problem that we need to figure out because it doesn't make any sense. So wait, we had 19 cops with AR-15s outside of the school, and they didn't even go in after the killer. But you expect Mrs. Johnson, who's 65, who fucking teaches algebra, you tell her to you want her to whip out her gun and shoot a mass killer with an AR-15? What the fuck?
So we want to install guns into the school. Like we're worried about.
Yeah, that's what these guys think. They think the school needs more guns inside.
So let's put the guns into the school.
Right, yes.
It's the most backwards, stupid, fucking
Hylinder's
unbelievable, bass fucking backwards, bullshit, dumb,
ignorant, stupid, corrupt.
It makes no fucking sense.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do. It's the opposite of what everybody wants.
For children to wear a mask. It's upsetting.
Right. Taking their freedom.
But
it's traumatizing.
It's traumatizing. It changes them forever. But we should get them bulletproof backpacks and bulletproof blankets. And now we're teaching them drills under these bulletproof blankets lined up like target shot.
That's what I said.
Practice.
Lined up, yeah.
With metallic. Here we are. It's like, but that's not traumatic at all.
I have never had a bigger motherfucking chip on my shoulder than I do.
You have a kid in school
now. And I went like you. I grew up with a tyrannical, alcoholic, abusive father, and I lived at the end of a fucking fist.
Yeah.
And I was in lots of fights.
Yeah,
I am more pissed off every day about the fucking situation that we're all in.
Yeah.
Than I've ever been.
I would argue you had a pretty big chip on your shoulder about lesbians.
That's true. But by the way, I would say, well, I'd give it about this.
Okay.
I mean, it's building.
And that one, it comes out pretty regularly. Still.
I love lesbians.
Let's go.
I love lesbians.
Just not ones that don't tell you they are, and you're
By
married.
the way, he's not anti-lesbian. He's anti-singular lesbian. There's one.
There's
lesbian.
one.
There's one. He actually is very, very discerning in his.
if
his
you
hatred.
need to tune the world out,
we're back to
like
another one.
your husband, or
Oh my God.
if or if you want to listen to the Titus podcast to help you feel a little bit more sane day to day when you're working, you should get UE Fits by Logitech. Did you lose yours, or what
Nope.
happened? You were like,
No. I found him. I found him.
oh,
They're
okay.
so great.
You
You
had
can't
the
feel them
case.
I
anymore.
was using them to work out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The case was empty.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I always travel with mine now, and that is part of my pre-travel routine the day before. Charge my Logitech UE Fits, charge my iPad, because I use them on the plane because they are noise canceling and they are 10,000 times more effective than the competitor brands. Those other ones don't fit in your ears. These actually fit all the way in, so you can
And they
drown out the absurdity that happens.
And they stay. That's the weird thing about them. You
Tell
put
them
in,
why they stay.
And they say because when you get them, they actually have a plastic thing but they come in a light sensitive package. It's dark. So if you open it, by the way, get ready to make sure, because it's operated by light. You put them in your ears. You actually you link them to an app on your phone, and they turn them on, and they light up.
These purple LEDs
and then they warm up, and they fit into the hole in your ears. It's crazy. And the sound, because they're fitting directly in yours, the sound is always awesome. I had my other one, the other competitor brand on, and they kept falling. I kept having to do this.
I hate
kept
that.
having
And
to
they
push my
hurt
ears.
so bad by the end of the day
Yeah.
when I used to use
Yeah.
those. I haven't touched those. Those have been dead for 2 years.
But UE Fits like a glove.
They are, and you can set EQ with the app and everything. The excellent, amazing sound. You can play and pause music, answer calls. Same thing with just by tapping. Great for snowboarding too. If you try Fits, you don't love them as much as we do. This is another company that backs their product. They give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. They give you free shipping, free returns, and a 1-year warranty on those headphones. So if you want to go get yours, use promo code Titus at ue.com/fits to get your pair of UE Fits. That's ue.com/fits, promo code Titus.
Good stuff.
One of my favorite things is when people give you a money back guarantee and a warranty.
You know what I like about our stuff is I like when we get to we never have an ad because we demand it. But we never have an ad where I go, ugh, these guys. We always have ads. I'm like, yeah.
We never. Well, that's because you won't take them.
So I won't take them. We did the podcast without it for a long time and had fun. I want to have fun with this, and there's no point in having people go, that's too. I don't want to.
When I first tried
I
those
get enough shit
headphones,
for
that was
what I talk about.
That was one of the ones
Right,
that I
yeah.
thought, why didn't I try these sooner?
Yep.
So UE.com.
It's all marketing, kid. So you bought into the bullshit. That's why.
Promo code
These guys are
Titus.
better. What was I talking about before we went away? I wanted to talk about
Guns in schools, teachers.
So let's go.
having
Let's
guns.
go. So let's go all the ways this can go perfectly well. So your teacher has the gun. And let's say this. Let's say your teacher is one of the 300-hour trained person. Perfect. That's better. But now, do you understand that they went from 300 hours to 24 hours of training? That's insane. That's insane around kids. Okay. So let's say you're a high school teacher.
For somebody who specializes in learning,
Yeah.
you know that you can't master anything in 24 fucking hours.
By the way, for someone who specializes, that's great. By the way, the person who teaches, you don't have to learn.
24 hours, you'll get it. You'll get this.
By the way, just
Mastered it.
It's multiple choice anyway. Just take it.
You know that thing you got to take for 3 years to get your certification?
Yeah.
This,
Day.
24 hours.
So let's say a teacher's got he's carried. Let's say he's carried concealed.
Okay.
He gets out. Two guys get into two. Let's say 12th graders, 11th graders get in a fight. They're duking. Two guys duking it. Teacher gets involved. One of the guys, while he's grabbing one guy pulls his gun and shoots the other kid. That's fucking so possible.
That is going to happen.
That's going to yes.
Like
It's going to. Let's say the teacher doesn't know, so he takes it off and he puts it in his desk drawer. One of the kids saw him do it, and says, and when teacher goes out to the office, kid goes, Jimmy's the door, gets the gun out of the fucking thing, just to be funny, So there's no upside to any of this. Okay, let's say this mass shooter comes in. Let's say teacher's really good, really qualified, keeps his gun in a locked safe. How does he get it out fast enough? Even if it's a biometric safe, he's still got, the guy walks down the hall, kicks the door in, shoots at the student. Now what? He goes to the safe and gets shot.
He'd have to buy the biometrics.
Oh yeah, he have to.
Out of his own pocket.
So I think all teachers starting now. I said $500,000. If you're going to make me also be a SWAT team member, I have to teach your children, babysit your kids, discipline your kids. I have to come up with I have to grade all the papers. I have to make sure your kid's on his game. I have to basically be a counselor for your kid at certain times. And you want me to be SWAT team. $500,000.
There's 5 careers.
Six
careers.
Every teacher gets $500,000 a year. Because I'll tell you what would happen. We'd have a lot more badass teachers. Every teacher would be John Wick and smart as shit. We'd have.
Well, okay, let's think about it logically. Why? What's the rush? Why would anybody need anything in 24 hours? Why? What's his logic? Why would he do that? Does he give any?
Because
but
Jesus
yesterday
wrote
it was
the
300.
Constitution.
Jesus wrote the
when they say God-given rights, God did not
write the Constitution. No, it's not in the. I don't
little
remember that
children
chapter
come
in the Bible.
unto me and hand me an AR-15.
Yeah, that's not.
Why, they don't have to give any reasons as to why. It's like Texas. They lowered it from whatever it was
to 18.
too young to 18.
Well, ding dong.
And no requirements. No, but in Texas, there's no requirements. That kid, and by the way, here's how easy a gun is to operate. That 18-year-old that killed those kids in Uvalde had no training. He went and bought 2 AR-15 style weapons, walked in and shot a bunch of people.
Even if you have training, you're 18.
Yeah.
You still can't even get
brain's
that
not
training in.
developed at 25.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I keep saying. They keep saying 21. I go, you're still a fucking moron at 21.
Yeah.
You're a tiny bit less of a moron, but you're still a moron at 21. 25. You make everybody know your brain doesn't develop to 25. Also, no waiting period. Why do you need, like you said, why do you need a gun? Oh my God, I'm so pissed. I thank God I get it now. In what situation do you need, if your situation is so intense that you need a gun within instantly, call a fucking cop. Call a police officer because something's wrong.
24 hours. 24 fucking hours.
Yeah, of training. That's all you need to carry a gun among children. Yeah. So Governor DeWine of Ohio is the dumbest motherfucker. And I'm going to say it out loud.
I thought Ohio was more progressive.
It's all like between DeSantis, Abbott, and DeWine. They're like, man, there's going to be a competition this year. And I don't know what you're running on because even the reason that Congress is moving at all is because Republicans called in gun owners and were like, dude, I don't want this idiot. I'm a gun owner. I bust my ass. I have a gun safe. I take my training. I know what I'm doing. I license it. I register it. I don't want this 18-year-old asshole to have a gun. I don't, because I know what it can do.
Any logical society would, anytime there's a mass shooting or something, all the regulations would increase. Age goes up. Time to wait would go up.
Right.
If things get more strict, it just keeps on going
until we finally figure
backwards.
Out. Yeah, we go backwards less. Well, here's the thing. So using their logic, why do we have drunk driving laws? Wouldn't you want to make it so you had like a alcohol dispenser in your car? Wouldn't the center console turn into a bar? Because if more
the
logic is why do we have drunk driving laws when more alcohol would obviously make less people die based on their logic?
That would be like anytime there's a car crash, we would just keep removing
take the bumpers off.
Remove things, whittle it away.
Whoa. That guy survived with that airbag. Take that airbag out.
Lower the age. We need like 12-year-olds driving cars.
You know why? Because there'll be less people killed.
Right. It's a safer society when a baby is driving a car.
I wonder could you look up what gun manufacturer profits are? Can you imagine what they make? Because they get...
what Wayne LaPierre reports they make or what they actually make.
Well, I mean, there's got to be someone who's got to look in. We can't be the first people that just, I wonder what they make. We can't be if this podcast is the first group of people to go, I wonder how much money they make, then we're really in way worse trouble than I think we are.
I was just looking up that regulation, the bill that Trump signed in 2017 that didn't get a lot of play, that would pertain to mental illness and gun ownership, although it
was a red flag law.
It's muddy and kind of complicated. The ACLU, it was an Obama-era
red flag law
that dealt with people with mental illness getting a gun, but it had something in it. A lot of disability groups opposed the rule and supported him repealing it because they felt like it unfairly targeted people with mental illness, not mental illness, with impairments, like mental impairments, like people with Down syndrome, because you can't discriminate against someone who's disabled. You couldn't single them out.
This is where the left has
the
lost their
ACLU,
mind.
along with 23 disability groups, opposed the rule and supported the appealing of it because it directly linked people receiving Social Security and disability benefits.
That's not okay.
Saying that if people couldn't manage their financial situation, then they shouldn't be able to buy a gun.
Wait, what?
But I have so here's so that's what they said. That's the left problem. The left problem is like here this is a deadly weapon. It kills people. That's all it's built for. All it's built for. I go, we target shooting too. Yeah, but why are you target shooting? So you can kill people better. That's why you're doing that. So my problem with the entire thing is that when you say something like that, that's the left getting whiny. Yeah, oh my God. If you can't pass a certain test, if you can't hold the gun and fire it, if you can't prove
But it didn't deal with any of that. That's what you're crying. There should be federal standards.
Yep.
It didn't deal with that.
Standards.
It just, I think, again, it was probably Obama administration trying to eke something in because you can't get anything done.
No.
So now even this bill,
And now we're back to today,
The
yeah.
bare minimum of the bare minimum is what they're doing on this bill, and they may not even get
and
that
even the
done.
Democrats were like, the Democrats were just like, oh, we'll get something.
The Obama rule that Trump nullified had added people receiving Social Security checks for mental illnesses and people deemed unfit to handle their financial affairs to the National Background Check database. That's where it created a problem. But of course, now Trump is tweeting that or truthing that it's mental illness.
Do you know what feels really weird? Yeah, right. Yeah, now, wait, that you just called it. They just been saying, Uvalde had nothing to do with guns. It had to do with mental illness. Well, then why did Trump sign the thing about mental illness off?
That's what I'm saying. There's no agreement in what they say and do.
I kind of get the red letterness of it, but if you have let's say you had a brain injury in the military, right? And you actually have, and it's made you violent. A friend of mine had a concussion issue for a while before it got handled and got adjusted right. That he was getting up angry. He would pass out randomly and he was angry. I don't want that guy having a gun. Now he's fixed now. He went away because of what the basically help for his lower brainstem he got. But if you are actually on a list of people that are getting paid because you're mentally impaired, you probably shouldn't have a gun. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you standing up for? Crazy people getting guns? People that can't actually function in the society?
NRA collected $97 million in dues in 2021. That's from their annual financial report. That's a 43% drop from 2018 and the lowest figure since 2006.
But what do gunmen? What does a gun manufacturers get?
I thought you said NRA.
No, I wanted to know what do those companies make selling guns? They obviously make a lot because they gave the NRA, because it's not just people money. The NRA, and why is the NRA a non-profit? What the fuck what are they helping? Like, what charity are they?
Yeah, right.
Why is the NRA a non-profit? So we got churches.
How did that qualify to become a non-profit?
I don't know.
Doesn't there something have to do with it has to benefit
the common
society?
Good. The common good.
There's got to be. There's something in there to be a 503.
It's a club. In 2018,
maybe it's a
gun and ammunition manufacturers had revenue of $17 billion.
Oh, Jesus.
But a lot of that comes from the defense side, arms sales to the U.S. and foreign governments. So,
is there a private sale breakdown?
No.
$17 billion. I tell you what, you would totally get how you'd be like, 17 million. Yeah, we can give the NRA a couple $100 million.
Yeah, just that on the
not
books.
even a problem. Here you go. But again,
slide you a little bit.
And I say this again: all these badasses who think you got to be a badass to have a gun. Wayne LaPierre is your guy. That's your guy. That dude right there, like that's the tough guy that you go, hey, yeah, the head of NRA. It's not John Wick. It's not Clint Eastwood.
Right.
It's Wayne LaPierre.
By the
Hello,
way,
I have my gun. I will stand up to everybody with my gun. Pew, pew. Let's do this.
If you need to work out stress and anxiety after listening to this podcast, this episode brought to you by Fitbod.
Yay, Fitbod.
Fitbod is so good that you came in last night and you were like, I got a new Fitbod thing. I just did Fitbod. Do we have that ad this week? And I said, yeah, I think we do
actually
actually.
did last night.
So
Flexing.
So
That's all he
Fitbod
does.
gives you actually you get Fitbod, by the way. It costs Fitbod. It costs basically what one like half a training session would cost for the year. I get it. So what I do is I know when I do workout, I'm doing chest and abs. So I go in and I hit the thing and there's little pictures and I hit the chest and abs and then it gives me nine exercises. What I didn't realize what I wasn't doing was you can also go if you can load in your exercises. So if you load in, you just hit another button and it builds your workout. So and then it'll track it. I wasn't doing that, and I just started doing it last night. Where I'm tracking my weights, I'm tracking my reps, so I can see how I'm doing. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm having a good day, and it was just another level. I wasn't doing it. I was just using the Fitbod. It's kind of nice, and now I'm like, oh, I can track who I am, what I'm doing. It just gets better every time I use it. I'm not kidding. I'm not lying. I use it every night.
He uses it on the road. He uses it at home. He loves it. And every time.
Because you can switch it up. I don't have anything on the road. So you can put body weight. All you have is body weight, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you 10 exercises for body weight, and you just lay it out. I love it.
He really does love this product because I get the ad at home after he uses it. Because you've worked out. When you use Fitbod, you come in and you're like kind of sweaty and red and breathing hard. Like you've done a workout.
Well,
you need to film those.
That's up to me. That the app doesn't make me work out harder.
I was going to say, you
But
have to actually do the
obviously-
things that it tells you to do.
But I'm saying it works
That's
for
my
you.
psycho that makes
because
it like
I see you before you had Fitbod when you would create your own workouts and you weren't necessarily always like that. This gives you like you have a trainer, so somebody.
No, that's the whole thing. Is I had a guy.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome to the 10th white sentence of today. I had a trainer for a while, and I loved press. So it was great, but now, that because I needed motivation. For some reason, the way the Fitbod app is, and they give the great news is, so it gives you like 3 different workouts, 9 or 10 exercises, and there's a bonus workout at the bottom. And let's say I do 4. I do 4 chest and 4 ab exercises. So that's 8. I can use the 8 of them, and I get to kind of build. So within the app myself, I get to build my own workout.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. But
and what you showed me, the video, if you don't know what something is, you click it and you can go watch someone do it in a short video so that you can get the right form and stuff, which I also think is
totally
awesome.
Worth it.
Super easy to use. Like I just said, HD video tutorials, integrates with Apple Watch, Wear OS smartwatch, and Apple Health, Fitbit, Strava.
It integrates with my Apple Watch.
Oh my gosh. I've been saying that every time.
I always imagined that's how you used it.
No,
he uses it on his phone.
Because I can play music on my phone.
So you have something else to figure out. You got to have summer fitness goals, right? It's all we have left. So crush your summer fitness goals with personalized workouts from Fitbod that improve as you do. Like he said, you're building on each week. So get 25% off of your subscription or try out the app for free when you sign up now at fitbod.me/Titus. 25% off your subscription or try it for free at fitbod.me/Titus. And I just looked it up. It's $12.99 a month. $79.99 a year. You take 25% off of that. That's half of a trainer session, and you're getting every day for the entire year.
I bought a whole year.
Bro, you gotta link up your UE Fits headphones to the watch.
Yeah, my UE Fits are on my.
Get it all set up.
He uses those. He's got those figured out.
Wow, that's cool. I'm glad it has a whole lot of levels.
Who's the biggest gun manufacturer?
I don't know, but can we? So give me a plus side. So here's what they're expecting by DeWine saying that teachers can carry guns. So what they're expecting is a mass shooter, psycho out of his mind. By the way, teachers trying to get the kids settled. All right, guys, settle. All of a sudden, in the hallway, teacher pulls his gun and then waits. And then what? Headshots this guy?
Yeah.
How many? But cops don't do that. Cops hit 2 out of 7
with a room full of like terrified children.
Children, right.
Screaming, running, hiding.
All right, kids, I got this. Hold on.
Yeah.
By the way, continue working.
Exactly.
Heads down. Hey, don't look at people's
Hand
paper.
in your homework over here. I'll handle him.
I'm going to go out to the hallway and shoot a guy with an AR.
So Smith & Wesson, their annual revenue, $1.1 billion.
Oh, my God.
Last year. $1.1 billion. Glock, for example, did 66.1 million. Smith & Wesson is the biggest one.
Wow.
And they're growing. You can go and look, like, for example, in 2020, when everyone was scared, revenue grew from 127 million to 257 million in the next quarter. That's a 202.6 increase.
Wouldn't the
because all of a sudden every shooting they said that that gun manufacturers make tons of money because it's almost like they like it because the government gets mad, we all start screaming, and then everybody goes buys an AR because they're not going to sell them anymore. And by the way, and rinse and repeat because they've done it over and over and over again for last.
So cool cars, right? Ivy League schools,
right?
Like status symbols,
right?
If it took more to train to get a gun, or if they were more expensive, they were harder to get, wouldn't the cool factor go up?
Yeah,
isn't that what they want? These people
that's what happens.
Fetish about guns
in Japan and stuff. In Japan, even Canada has got a lot more regulation. So I say this. I pitched this a long time ago. I'll pitch it one more time.
Okay.
The gun DMV. So you want to be a militia? Okay. So basically we have another organization that basically checks out who you are. Okay. So we have and it does one of two things. Number one, you got to be registered, which you have to be anyway. But you have to be registered and you have to be trained. There's 3 different tiers. You got bronze, silver, gold, right? Let's go 4 tiers, the platinum level. What you have to do is Gun DMV's got a shooting range on it. Just like the DMV, you go up, an instructor takes you into the shooting range, watches you load your weapon, watches you use your weapon. You take it apart basically, and you have to do this every year. You go, and then on the range, they said, all right, let's see how you shoot. Now, if you shoot shitty or not, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You'll be a bronze level guy. But if you worked on it, you actually start moving up. 2 things that would do. Number one, if you're a bronze level, by the way, gun insurance, you'd have to have gun insurance. A bronze level, your insurance would be a certain level. So this would give people incentive to become much more adept with the weapon. You actually have insurance at a bronze level, insurance at silver, insurance at gold, insurance at platinum. And the platinum level, if you're a platinum level, and by the way, you're in an elite militia. At that point, the government, if we do some shit does go down, the government can be like, we need you guys to show up. We're going to send a message to all our elite members. We need you guys to show up. We need your help. What it would do is actually all this militia bullshit that everybody says, hey, I'm in a militia. Motherfucker, you missed your car payment 3 months in a row. You're not in a militia. So my thing is that what we would do is it would build a database of who's good with weapons and who isn't. It would also make it so if you let's say you get a badge, let's say you get you don't have to carry it. Let's say you just get a badge. By the way, it would also be easier to get your concealed permit. If we had a federal standard, it would. If you're a platinum level, hold on, you answer these 3 questions.
And here's your missile, sir.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but exactly. But if you prove that you were, and then we would all go, that dude's a platinum, man. That dude, that's John Wick right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then like you said, all of a sudden it becomes
more of a cultural
thing. You become guys that are shooter. Those guys would probably they'd be elite, so they would actually help guide what the NRA kind of used to be, which was gun safety and stuff. It would help. Instead of these guys making billions, they'd still make billions, but it would be something instead of us mocking all the dumb fucks, the toothless dumb fucks with weapons, we'd be like, no, these guys.
But now they want fucking Johnny Skateboard and Mrs. Pumpernickel to have a gun instead of like
Mrs.
these high level.
She was my English teacher, Mrs. Pumpernickel. And by the way, for the first 2 weeks, all we did was Mrs. Pumpernickel jokes.
By the way, this episode also brought to you today by another company that we love, Sunday. Perfect time for Sunday because it's summertime when you're out there with your HelloFresh dinner and your Solo Stove s'mores and your earphones in so that you don't have to listen to your
glass of wine. You're sitting there
racist, angry Karen neighbor.
She's being very specific about our house.
Sunday, they have all this stuff on their website. Like you can now buy, you can buy trees, plants, shrubs. They're all specific to where you live. So like if you live in a more drought-ish area like us, they've got specific plants for that. Also in this whole multi-layered harmonic world that we're living in, if we don't have plants and trees and grass and stuff, we're gonna die.
We're also not attract any bees. We need to attract some damn
plants
bees.
Provide us with food, fiber, shelter, medicine, fuel. We need the oxygen. thanks to plants that we have. So Sunday takes...
Ray's at a bad place
I'm in a
today.
bad place.
I've had to talk her down a bunch.
Sunday takes all of the guesswork out of it. Another thing, you're not going back and forth to Home Depot all summer trying to figure this out like I used to. You don't have to. They do everything for you. We've told you guys before, you can go look at the really terrifying aerial view of your house on their site once you put in your address. Then you sign up. They send you a thing, you put your soil sample in it, send it back, and then they come up with a customized lawn plan based on that, which is some weird magical science.
It was great
stuff.
though, because again, my father used to do this all the time. His lawn was a project. My dad tried one thing after the other. Some of the stuff burned his lawn. With Sunday, man, they know what your lawn needs. They know what and they send it to you.
Wait, so they could help fix climate change?
But that's the thing. There's a balance, right? So we need this to live, and then this keeps bees with stuff. It's like a whole. It's
Wait, are you saying shit works together? That's how the world
works?
It's
mind-boggling, and people just don't pay attention to it. Yeah, and plus, because the world's really hard, you need your personal oasis in your yard, like I have in the backyard.
A place you can go chill.
And the thing that you guys know that I love about this is that they use natural ingredients, not chemicals. They use seaweed. By the way, those chemicals are a large part of what is killing bees.
Yep. Yeah.
The pest control and the fertilizers and stuff, they don't use that. They use seaweed, iron, molasses, stuff like that. I've told you also, because we're in California, where as grandma's getting a crap ton of rain, so her lawn plan is different. Ours is specifically targeted for a drought area.
Absolutely no water whatsoever.
So they had me, I put on, I think I told you guys, I put on the heat protectant thing last month. So, and then my next thing I put on in July. So I know that and I don't have to think about it again.
Right.
So you can get a full season plan that starts at just $129 and then get 20% off of that when you visit getsunday.com/Titus at checkout. That's 20% off your custom plan at getsunday.com/Titus.
We should lobby to have cities and counties mandate Sunday into their blueprints for new construction and work it in, because then it would help.
Right. Then they could actually give you all the basics. We'd know that the lawn would always be healthy. We wouldn't have to guess.
No more chemicals into the lawn. You can't do that anymore.
It's not even a bad idea to get
if this, I don't know how big they are, but it's a smallish company can figure out how to use these natural things to
why can't Monsanto? Right.
Because I think Monsanto is the devil. That's why.
Oh, that's why.
By the way, so there are things that you can do, just to wrap this up with climate change stuff, since that's what we were talking about. Somehow we're back on guns. Definitely, I think that everyone, we've seen how when you speak up about certain things, like with this gun stuff, that made a lot of them go, oh, well, we better do something about it. So certainly you can call John Cornyn if that's whose area
I'm going to
you're
call
in.
John Cornyn today.
I mean, but for climate change, we should be calling our representatives saying, yo, this is important to us, because that I was listening to something the other day in the news where they were saying that's their number one motivating factor. If they don't stop getting calls about something, they want to do something just to be able to say, I did this, get off my back. Power your home with renewable energy.
We're trying.
Something, we are. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are like, everybody just says, oh, I can't do that. Go on your electric company's website. I did. And they've got all kinds of rebates for some stuff you already have.
And what people don't quite understand is that the Biden administration has gone out of their way to make sure, and it's California, but out of the way to get federal money. If you want to make your house more energy efficient, federal money available. There's money available. And not only that, but do you understand?
For all of it, not just that, for weatherizing your home, there are federal tax credits if you do energy efficient home improvements. Weatherizing it.
Especially now with the economy, I mean, inflation as it is, and everyone's struggling financially.
Yes.
This should be some serious messaging. That's an issue.
Well, so I went on
the Democrats are horrible.
I went on DWP's website and I started looking at rebates available and what's available. Well, they had, for our front, not our back, the grass area in the back is our place. But the front, we want to
Desertize it.
Yeah, and make it like more modern looking. And so DWP has this program you can submit for, and I filled out all the application stuff, and they will give you a landscape architect if you win. I said, but what?
Yeah, she goes, you won the thing. I go, you won? Is it a
I
game
won.
show? Yeah.
So
Californians are, I don't know.
we got accepted, and so they will give you for free a landscape architect that will design everything for you. And then once you do the plan, DWP will give you back the money you spent on it. Oh, so I can completely redo my front yard for free? Okay. So just go look on the website. Reduce water waste. We've talked about this. You can get water sense labeled fixtures and appliances and stuff like that. EPA estimates that if just 1 out of every 100 American homes were retrofitted with water efficient fixtures, 100 million kilowatt hours of electricity per year would be saved. That's 80,000 tons of global warming pollution.
But also, we have to get serious. But here, there's no fucking around with this. Like, this is not like, well, if it doesn't happen, everything's just gonna be fine. It's just gonna be a little hotter. No, we're gonna fucking die. Like, the species will die out. We will die. Your great grandchildren, you won't have them. They would just want.
We're at the end of the line.
Yeah. You can see when we have in 1 week we had like 5 of the craziest things we've ever seen happen.
Yeah.
You know, like
biblical shit, like actually
it
happening.
Snowed in Mexico in June.
While California's
By the way,
on fire.
That should be the end of the debate. As he said earlier, we were talking, that should be the end of the debate. It snowed in Mexico in June. The fuck is going on?
Buy better light bulbs. This is a cheaper, easier thing to do. LED light bulbs use 1/6 the amount of energy
And no
for the
heat.
exact same amount of light
No
and
heat.
no heat. Yeah. You did LED
In our backyard.
backyard lighting.
Bike
you
to work.
Pull the plug. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you
shut up.
leave
Don't get
everything plugged in,
Don't get
it
crazy.
uses electricity. So just if you just
you
unplug
first.
things,
I'll buy the bike. You first.
I'll be right behind this Prius.
There's just a point.
why
There's
are
just a
you
point.
guys looking at me?
Because you were reading.
you were going to
I
list.
kept trying to say the
you're doing
same
a list.
thing.
So I said again,
Just pull the plugs. You're using electricity.
Even with them plugged in. Yeah.
They're saying on average 65 devices in every U.S. home stays plugged in. If you just unplug them, you save energy. Adds up to the output of 50 large power plants in the country. The idle load of U.S. households
So we need
adds up to that.
We just need to get smart. Now, here the weird thing is, what's the most energy efficient country?
Hold on. Drive a fuel efficient vehicle. We talked about.
We got that.
Maintain your ride. This is another easy one. If all Americans kept their tires properly inflated, we could save 1.2 billion gallons of gas each year.
But you know what people do though? They have this thing like you went online and you figured out how much money we can save. America's become this place where everybody wants some shit for free or they want it handled for them. The only way you're going to get what you want is to handle it yourself. And I've learned that my whole life. I've known that, and you're awesome at it. Like the stuff you look up, I'm like, we did a what? How did we get that? It has nothing to do with anything except putting a little bit of time in to make it work. And you, by the way, she started doing I'm not using the water bottle thing. So now I will still use them, but I will get 3 full water bottles. I'm not using them every time now. I go refill it. I
just started turning off the faucet when I'm brushing my teeth. It's such a simple thing, but I have always, my whole life, just let it run.
Well, Lake Mead, they said Lake Mead, which supplies
Did you
California.
say Lake Mead?
Lake Mead.
I was like, we beg your pardon.
You need some. We need a turn. You need some snuggle. Did you say lick me? No, I did not.
I couldn't figure out why he was saying lick me on the podcast.
Mead. Oh, shut up and lick
Speaking
me.
of dry air.
Lake Mead.
While filled with bodies.
Lake Mead, Hoover Dam. They said Lake Mead is now down to 1,074 feet or whatever it is. And they said that if it loses, it's like less than it's like 100 and something feet.
Have you seen the Colorado River?
Hoover Dam is no more going to work.
Yeah.
No more working bad. No
One
working
of the
no more.
straws
Yeah.
is out of the water.
Exactly. They're gonna be like, we're on the
Switzerland is the greenest country in the world. Of course.
Of course it is.
And it's all like we need to mandate new home construction. Every roof has to be covered in solar tiles. Do you know if we actually did that, what would happen was we could shut down all the power companies. Everybody would have their own power. When there was a power outage, there wouldn't be because you'd have your own storage batteries. Every house needs
A
to
solar
be built.
is fixing Texas's power grid right now.
Right.
Isn't that what happening? Didn't I just read that?
Yeah. The solar farms.
The top 10, Netherlands, Canada. It's crazy how we're connected to Canada, and they're doing so much better at so many things.
Yeah, I wonder what the difference
Germany, New Zealand, of course, Denmark, Finland, Japan, Norway, Switzerland, and Sweden.
So everyone else has gotten smart. What is? Okay, this is a big
Most of
question.
those countries have socialized healthcare.
What is wrong with the fucking American psyche?
They don't have school shootings.
They don't have school shootings. They have health care. They don't die poor and sick because they had to spend all their money on health care. They have fuel efficient cars. They actually have renewable energy.
We still have the Confederacy. That's the problem.
Why are we still talking about this stupid shit when we see it works? Whether it's gun control or whatever, we have models around the world that all this shit works. Why are we so fucking stupid that we don't do it?
They've all
because we're stupid.
Yeah.
Because we put this many dollars into education
right?
and teacher pay.
And we also have Citizens United, which makes sure that any company that makes $1 billion can give any politician as much money as they can,
And
as they want.
teachers don't make enough money to lobby.
Teachers don't make enough money to come up with enough money to give them. So every society lasts about 250 years. It seems it's around where everything starts to shake up. We're there. And I think we are in for trouble. I've honestly been thinking about, we need to find a country to move to.
Well, you have been saying that a lot, but also, I was just looking
I
on
feel
the
bad for
NASA
saying that.
website. They were saying that the rise and fall of civilizations has
They need
been
to find a planet
because
to live.
of
Yeah.
weather events, most commonly drought. So they seem to be hinting at us headed towards one of those.
I like when NASA's like, everybody, we're not talking to you guys specific. We're just saying that the one thing in societies is being stupid and having
We discovered something in Florida.
yeah, it always starts in Florida.
That's why my dad called me. What'd you tell me to buy the other day? I need to buy rice. 20-pound bag of rice. I said yes, and flour. Put them in a tub so they'll last longer. My poor dad.
And by the way, these little packets that suck up the moisture, get those too.
Yeah.
Rachel has become a prepper without. She's slowly kind of
Yes,
just eased into
totally.
prepping without even thinking
Do
about
you
it.
notice it too?
Yes.
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
Oh
totally.
my gosh.
Over the last couple of years, you've just eased into it.
It was at the beginning of COVID. It all started, and I realized we're all alone. We're on our own. And so I started stockpiling for the guy with the most guns in the neighborhood. I was reading on a prepper website the other day.
See?
They were
Oh
saying,
my God!
They were saying to bury all of your stuff so that guy with the most guns doesn't find it.
Well, now the cat's out of the bag on that.
I'm not going to do that. I mean, there's a limit.
There's
Okay.
not going to be any more lawns to dig up
I
anyway.
think we could build up a underground, like a kind of locker.
Though they also suggested a bunker of some sort where you could go
Do you
when
know
the
I
guy with
thought-
the most guns is
You know,
looking for you.
I thought up at the cabin, the way our lot is, there's one area, and I thought if we bought a like a 20 by 8 foot container and just buried it 10 feet under the ground.
How are we going to breathe?
Well, you put a little.
You just put a
straw.
Just put a straw up there.
You mean people aren't going
Like
to
a snorkel.
notice the pipe?
We'll hide it with a tree.
Just plug it with your thumb.
we'll hide it with a tree.
The mole.
The bad guy just comes over and just puts his hand over it and
No,
just
the moles
waits.
would just go,
Exactly.
"Ah, got you now."
Oh man, the moles would
Got you now,
find
bitch.
me. Assholes.
They have actually air exchange systems you can put in. You know, you run the what you do is you run the pipe. You run the
put
pipe
your molecule
you
down
run the
there.
pipe. You basically just run the pipe 50 feet that way and then up, so no, they can't really see it.
Did you see it?
And you make sure the pipe comes up in a bush.
Make it look like a tree
Yeah,
all the way up.
Musk came out and said that he would vote for DeSantis in the 2024
Oh, my God.
election.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yep. There you go. We'll end on that high note.
You got, oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, so Canada.
It's over.
Canada, I need a realtor in Canada, and just call me when you can.
They're not going to have us. All the countries are going to be like, nope.
All they have to do is go to my YouTube channel. By the way, if you want to go to the YouTube channel, see that?
Hey,
Yeah,
I think we've been pretty nice about Canada all along.
I like Canada. You told me, you actually were like, you won't believe Canada because
I
you
loved
spent
it.
time up there.
I loved it. I dated a Canadian for many years, and I would spend 3 to 4 months at a time during the summer there. And I was always just amazed by how clean and progressive and how I remember just being blown away by the healthcare. Like that he could just go anywhere. You can just, oh, okay.
And just get, and you're not going to, and they're not going to let you just die. And they're not going to empty your
infrastructure
bank.
was so much more.
Right. And we already pay
advanced
so
than
much
ours.
taxes in California anyway. I don't think it would change anything for us.
Yeah, no,
They
you
do have high
get more out of
tax.
it. You get more.
You actually get something
Yes.
for
For
what
your
you
ta-
pay in.
That's what always bothers me when people go, I don't want these people getting healthcare. Hey, dipshit, it's for you too. What are you talking
Right.
about? Whenever one of these guys, you're not going to run my healthcare. I want freedom. You want freedom to die broken
Exactly.
sick? That's what you want with your kids not getting anything? Because people don't understand that the entire healthcare system in America is built on one thing. It's a transfer of wealth.
Yes.
It's from people who saved money your whole life, and then you got sick because we're all gonna, and then you took all that money and you gave it to the pharmaceutical companies and the drug companies.
You
And
paid
then-
into it your whole life,
Right.
and then at the end of your life, they take all the rest of it.
There you go. Yep, that's America. You just defined America. That was good.
Yeah.
That's almost in the. I think that's in the Constitution. What you just did. Guys,
Small print.
thanks for listening to the Titus podcast and watching. I want to thank you for paying attention. I think the people that listen are pretty smart. We try to keep it. I work really hard to keep it authentic, honest, and what's really going on. And this one right here just keeps it together. This dude right here makes it so funny. So thank both of you guys for kicking
Well,
ass.
thank you.
No, it's
Thank
fine.
you, sir.
Oh, shut everybody.
Thank
You're-
you, ma'am.
Lick me.
You,
Can I-
you are amazing.
But go to Christopher Titus TV, guys. All my specials are up there. Well, the first 8 are up there. Please watch them. We were posting stuff all the time. There's this bit from the new special about white supremacy. Please watch it. And subscribe to the channel if you can. And if you're not, just keep listening to what we got. And thanks. I want to say thanks again. Oh, by the way, we're going to be in Scotland. Oh,
Didn't you take a date at Oxnard?
I thought so. You check it out. You handle bookings.
I had nothing to do with
I
that.
just thought I
That
saw
was
that
you
come up.
talking to your agent, and then
I just show up eventually.
and then I never heard anything else about it.
It was tentative,
So
though, right?
maybe
It's a tentative date.
Oxnard coming up one night, and
Getting laps for Scotland, man. Got to get those laps in.
Yeah.
Got to get the shows done. I want to say Phoenix, man. The Tempe Improv. Holy crap! What great audiences, smart.
yeah,
I did again this new show. It's not well. I worked on Carrying Monsters before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic hit, I wrote a bunch of new stuff, so it didn't fit. I didn't realize how dark this show was. And at one point, Friday
And for
night,
you to say that.
Friday night
Yeah.
first show, I get to a part in the show that she doesn't like, but it's a true story. And a woman just goes, just out of the blue, Jesus Christ.
yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
That's a good quote. Where do you put that on the poster?
It wasn't even a heckle. She was like, "Oh my god!" Like she, and so come see this new show. It ends in the light. It does end in the light, doesn't it?
It definitely
With a
does.
great story about
as
her.
always.
Great story. About
As in
her.
death, the light?
no,
seeing
the light?
Go towards
As
the
in-
light. I
Go
can't
towards
watch
the light.
Titus anymore. And your show, can I talk about your show really quick?
Sure.
Rachel did a bunch of new material.
I
She-
headlined on Thursday.
She her show, great audience, drew about 200 people. It's pretty crazy.
218, baby.
218, and I saw the whole show, beginning to end, soup to nuts. And honestly, it was moving and really funny, and even the new stuff was killer. And you get a stage, I've done this for a long time. I've done, Norman Rockwell. I've had enough shows that had a point to them and had like a funny, but also, and it was like this incredibly funny one-person show that I am really impressed.
I can't wait to see it. I felt that way about Alpha Chick, but after we went through all the editing and everything, and I finally, did you get to see the new show, like actually just sit and watch the show?
Yeah, I watched it.
That's
Made
He
noise.
sat in the back and watched and made notes the whole time. And I got to read his notes because he writes in this big, words this big, stream of consciousness. I'm so effing proud of you. I love you. You are
He's
so
good.
great. It was like really, so
That's
he let
awesome.
me sit with him later and we went over him, but a lot of them were like that.
Well, you pull stuff off. You're taking your mother through you're taking mother through cancer diagnosis, through the nightmare of having cancer, and then as a caregiver, all the way to the end. And everybody's going to go through it. It's one of those, this show is timeless. It is going to be evergreen because this isn't going to stop. You know, it's pretty impressive. So the compliments, and I think I just want to say about the Armageddon updates. People don't know the Armageddon updates are so funny because of him. I write them, and we sit down, we make a list, and because of him. So I want to thank you guys. By the way, because I don't know when the world's going to end.
It's hype.
Are we
Thank
dying?
You, sir.
Yeah.
I know, right? It is the
you?
end of the
No,
world.
I think that people.
Is it over?
I think listen, the darkness that is in the planet right now, and it's constant, from Putin to climate change to guns. Like there's this nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Every day I turn the TV on, and now I'm addicted in a weird way. I'm like, I gotta watch this because I want to be able to react to it. I mean, I'm ready to go at any minute.
Highly recommend if you have not watched the January 6 hearings. I highly recommend watching all of them, but go and watch the first one. They were both. The second one ending in proof. I'm not giving anything away because it's public knowledge, but we didn't realize this in proof that he took the whole Stop the Steal thing. We now know that he knew he didn't lose. Everyone told him.
We knew he lost.
He knows that he lost because we've all kind of wondered.
all his
Maybe
guys-
he thinks
He was
because
being
people are
told,
telling him.
yeah.
William Barr, Attorney General Barr's testimony that he flat out told him it was bullshit. Everyone around him, even the ones he appointed to replace Barr because he didn't like what he said, all his own White House counsel, all of them said this is bullshit. They investigated them like idiots. All these weird false claims.
60 court cases.
They told him there was nothing there even after investigating them. Then he started sending up to 25 emails a day, fundraising emails for the Stop the Steal defense fund
After he
to
knew,
help
yeah.
him fight to win the election back. And they have found that there was no Stop the Steal defense fund.
Wow.
Guess how much
Zero.
money?
$250 million.
No shit.
got
See,
a-
this gives me hope that we can turn things around.
He got $250 million from the rubes. He conned him out of $250 million.
Just
And
like the university, just like the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
steak that was
That's
made
the
of
whole
plastic.
thing is like, at what point do you go, what the
He's a total con man. Every level.
But that usually in the past, he would have set something up
Yeah.
called the defense. He didn't. I don't
He
know
didn't-
why.
Oh, he didn't even.
No, he didn't.
It didn't exist.
He didn't even run it through a company that was
It
named
didn't
that.
exist.
They just kept the money.
He gave
Wow.
Mark Meadows
You
$1
just
million.
like put it on a webpage or an email and that's it.
He constantly up to
No
25 times a day asked people to contribute to the Stop the Steal Defense Fund. There never was one. For example, Mark Meadows' company received $1 million.
Isn't that a felony right there? That's a.
Well, we'll see.
Well, Ray. It
is. It's wire fraud.
Yeah.
It's a federal
By the way,
offense.
Yeah.
So I sit next to a criminal justice major at the house sometimes, and she just like she'll hear stuff through, so she'll be like, "Whoa!" Liz Cheney's popped something off. She goes, "Oh my god, that's wire fraud. That's wire fraud. That's a RICO statute." She goes, "Oh man, that's hardcore. That's what they got Al Capone." And I'm like, I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
No.
I start
Al
bouncing them down.
Capone was tax evasion, but I was saying it was similar to that in that
Right.
all the people that he murdered, all this stuff he did, he goes down for tax fraud. It's like, and this to me is so much more easily provable.
Bernie Madoff might have
because
spent
he
the rest
put
of his
it.
life.
They have all the emails. They put them on the screen, and then he can't produce any paperwork.
Yep.
That he actually did establish that. He paid Guilfoyle $60,000 for a 2-minute speech that day on January 6th. So he just started giving people the money and then put the rest of it in his own pack.
Oh my god!
And
I don't care how we take him down, as long as he's
Well,
justice
you know, the
is
Point
served.
being, watch the January 6th hearings. There's another one tomorrow, and it is, even if you don't believe that it happened, then go, let them prove you right. Go watch, go see the evidence they have and the testimony from his own lawyer. I mean, it's bonkers.
His own lawyer sat there. He goes, I'm telling you, he told him, was it Meadows or one of the other guys? It was just basically said, he goes, my last thing, I'm going to give you
Eastman.
Eastman, I'm going to give you the best advice I can give you. When I hang up the phone, I want you to call a good criminal attorney because you're going to need it. This is one of the dudes on Trump's
His
team talking
White
to one of
House
the other
lawyer
dudes.
saying to the other lawyer, Eastman,
Holy shit!
So if they keep going, I think it's making a difference. I hope it's making a difference.
gather round your solo stove,
Yeah.
put it
And
on
watch
your
it.
That sounds like
laptop.
a good song. Gather round
And your
your
solo
solo stove.
Oh, you just
Gather round.
reminded me. I was going to have you sing a song for every product we had today.
Got it. Next time.
Oh,
But I'm not going to tell you what the products are until in the
Okay.
moment.
Oh,
Jingle.
my, you're going to make him do jingles?
Uh-huh.
We have to, okay, we'll do
Well, he
makeup.
just
we'll,
did it off
Gather
the-
round your solo
See?
stove.
Gather around your solo stove with friends.
Okay.
The one thing you won't be is solo. Solo stove.
All right.
All right,
Come
guys.
see us.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week. Go to ChristopherTitus.com for tour dates. And thanks for myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
Fun fact. Fun
yeah.
fact.
Oh, shoot.
It's time
We
for
forgot
Highlander's
the fun fact. Fun fact. Fun fact. It's
Well,
time
who
for-
knows what it will be?
By the way,
Including him.
all we
He
know,
doesn't have
all we
one.
know is it's fun. You don't have one?
Oh, I do. Yes.
you don't-
Bumblebees. Speaking of bumblebees, they used to be able to fly higher
Speaking
than
of bumblebees, what did you turn into that guy? That was a crazy. Speaking of bumblebees,
they can fly higher than Mount Everest. Isn't that
Bumblebees
impressive?
can?
Well, when we had
oh,
bumblebees.
so in the past,
In the past,
These
when
things-
the now extinct bumblebee.
So I saw this. Our friend Laura, who is a comedian as well, she always tweets interesting facts on Twitter. Yesterday, it's really, some of it's like, are you kidding me? I read them to him a lot. The guy, Jack Ryan, that invented the Barbie,
right?
he also was responsible. He graduated from Yale and was an engineer at Raytheon and designed missiles for Raytheon.
Wait, he invented.
Where did he
what?
end up? He ended up
He
at the
was
Barbie,
at Raytheon first,
and then he
designing
ended up
missiles.
at Mattel doing
Left,
Barbies.
was tempted away in 1955 with the position of head of research and development at Mattel, which was a new company. And he's the guy, he helped design the Sparrow and Hawk guided missile systems. That was kind of his claim to fame. And then he also designed and patented the original Barbie doll.
See, I knew like Barbie
He
was
contributed
like MK
to her
Ultra.
twist
Yeah,
and
makes
turn
sense, right?
waist
Weird.
and the auditory click click knee joints.
Wow.
There you go. I saw that and I was like, oh, I got to give that.
I like that better.
Well,
than
so
bumblebees.
how bad was that guy in the Defense Department where he's like, "Fuck this! I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah.
toys. I'm
That's-
doing toys. I'm
that's
doing
so-
toys. This is bullshit.
I've had enough stress.
Yeah,
I need to make
I'm
dolls.
gonna make plastic boobs and butts. That's what I want to do. I hear that, by the way.
get it.
That doesn't sound like a bad job. Again, for myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later,
Peace out.
Make me the one.
bumblebees on Everest.
Bumblebees on air.
By the way.